All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakmadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting a good fight of faith and truth, in sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believers. Shalom to you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now, this is Aaron Russo, a man that they killed because he exposed a lot of things, but the main thing that he exposed, and it's not in this video, this is another video, but when he was talking to Alex Jones about the microchip, and a man by the name of Nick Rockefeller is the one who told him about it, and then he was going into it. And now this guy, this is back, I want to say this is literally back in the Bush term, son Bush, not daddy Bush. So like the early 2000s, this video was made. And how much more is this happening today? That's the reason why I'm making this video, because everything that he's saying is happening now. It was happening back then, but how much more now? So let's get into it.
They talk about America being a capitalistic society, but yet you have a central bank that makes all the decisions. That's not capitalism. It's a fraud. It's a lie. They deceive the people. And they put out all this spin, all this press. The Federal Reserve is the greatest thing in the world. They're going to protect us, and they're going to make sure there's no more depressions in this country. What they've done is destroy the currency of this country. And they've taken all our gold while destroying.
So they done that back in the 70s. But how much more is the currency being destroyed now? They print so much money to the point that the dollar hardly got any value. You thinking that price is going up. No, the value of the dollar is going down. But since he mentioned that, all of this is prophecy. Oops. It said, "Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked? A scant measure that is abominable." All right. A scant means to be something that's less than what it should be. Okay. First of all, nothing backs the dollar. The dollar is forced by the sword. All right. Nations take on to this dollar thinking, because as the scripture says, they live deliciously, off the kings, did fornication with the whore, So they've been living deliciously for a while, but now it come to the time where the Lord is, as the scripture says, the separation in Daniel 2. So they're not cleaving to one another anymore. The Lord is literally making his devil implode on himself. He's actually becoming a tyrant to his own allies and to everybody, as you see. So it says, "Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances in the weight and with the bag of deceitful weights?" Okay, that's this whole system. "For the rich men thereof are full of violence." Like I said, they force this currency by the sword. It's not backed by nothing. Okay, every time that somebody speak up, we either gonna bomb you or sanction you. And it says, "And the inhabitants thereof spoken lies, and their tongue is full of deceitful in their mouth." It's deceitful in their mouth. So
society, but yet you have a central bank that makes all the decisions. That's not capitalism. It's a fraud. It's a lie. They deceive the people. And they put out all this spin, all this press. The Federal Reserve is the greatest thing in the world. They're going to protect us, and they're going to make sure there's no more depressions in this country. What they've done is destroy the currency of this country. And they've taken all our gold while destroying the currency. And at some point, they're going to probably pull the plug and create the Great Depression.
And they are going to pull the plug. You seeing the plug. It's a little plug. You know how when you got a plug into the wall, but it's a little hanging out, and you already know that if you don't plug it all the way in, it's going to short circuit. All the lights going to go out. That's literally what the economy is doing right now. It's like halfway hanging out the plug, ready to short circuit. All right, all the lights about to go out. That's what they about to do. And all of this is prophecy, because the scripture said he causeth all. And that's also another reason why the kings of the earth who have been living deliciously off of her and committing fornication with her, they are the ones that's going to shoot fire on her, as it says in Revelation 17. Because you got to ask yourself, That's going to be the way of buying and selling. They're going to have a microchip too. See, the devil will use you till he don't need you no more. So, matter of fact, real quick, I'm just going for the sake of time, I'm just going to read this one. If you be for his profit, he will use you. So the kings of the earth have been used. All right. But now he don't need them no more. He got the world in his hand. He got the kings of the earth in his hand. And now he's like, yes, I can literally have the word in my head. Like the world in my hand, like Pinky in the brain, man. This all he wanted. He wanted to be like the Most High. And when you are the Most High, that means you rule over everybody. Okay? That's what he want. If you be for his profit, he will use you. But if you have nothing, he will forsake you. So, yes, the allies that did what they had to do. Now it's time for you to be a slave too. All right? Even though they are slaves, but they high slaves. You know, they get a lot of benefits if they just follow line. But now he don't even need that. He don't need you to follow line. He needs you to get micro C-hip, okay? That's what it's going to all come down to.
About the silent hand behind the powers that we see on the news.
Yes, totally. There's no question that the bankers control, whether it's George Bush or Hillary Clinton or whoever it is, doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican. It's irrelevant. He played into it because it was Democrat versus Republican.
Keeping it more local than it really is. It's smaller.
No. Keeping it polarized.
Polarized, right.
Not smaller, not bigger, keeping it polarized. Red state versus blue state.
How much more is this happening now? Every time, like I've been saying this for a while, every time Trump get up there, what he say? It's the left. It's the Democrats. It's the blue states. He even blaming the government shutdown on the Democrats. Okay? And he says polarized, right? Because what they do, they magnify this. That's why they keep on pressing upon your mind through repetition. Okay? That's in the scripture. It said that he whet his tongue like a sword. When you go into the word sword, one of the definitions inculcate or inculcate, all right, and it means to impress upon the mind. All right, so what they keep on doing to the people who don't have understanding is they're basically throwing out propaganda to get you to think a certain way, and they polarizing this. They keep on putting on the news to the point that, you know, you got a lot of people who fall into the spell. And what's happening now, it's dragon speaking time. All right. And I beheld another beast come out of the earth. That is the Roman Empire coming back. Started with the Renaissance era. Now we in America. All right. And had two horns like a lamb. All right. This is the two political parties at one point in time. You know, even though it never been the case, but at least people thought it was. But at one point in time, it was politicians up there acting like they had your best interests at heart. Okay. But now you got Donald Trump. He don't give a damn. Every promise he said he was going to do, he broke it. Okay. He doing the total opposite. He said he wasn't going, you know, when he was campaigning to be president, he talked about it ain't going to be no digital currency. Now he got his own Bitcoin. He got a statue. He all for it. All right. He ain't lowering no prices. Prices increasing. All right. And all he doing is bringing hell upon the people. And it says, like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. That's the time that we in. All right. So he's speaking very harshly right now. He don't care about people's best interests at heart.
Versus conservative, Democrat versus Republican.
Oh, yeah. And also, Yahushua said it best. That's why, like I said, Lord willing, if I remember the title, how much more is this happening now? It said, but he knowing their thoughts. So this is when the haters, all right, the leadership of the time of Yahushua, the chief priests, scribes, and elders, wicked Sadducees and Pharisees. Not all of them was wicked, though. But they said that he was doing all these miracles through Satan. Okay. So this is what Yahushua said. But he knowing their thoughts, he said unto every kingdom, he said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house fall. The reason why he said that to them, because how can Satan cast out Satan? They the same. All right. Also, going back to the two horns like a lamb, they the same. The two horns on the lamb is on that lamb. The two wings of a bird is on that bird. Wherever the one horn go, the other horn gonna go. Whatever the other wing go, the other wing gonna go. Okay? So all of this is political acting, polarizing to get people, to think a certain way. It's all about propaganda. It's all about getting you to think and be a certain way. All right? Because right now they looking at it like, yes, America is good for the taking. So, oh yeah, I think that's what it is. It just popped in my mind. Hope this is it. Yep, the vile person should be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. So at one point in time, this is the way that politicians was looked at. Now they just the damn devil. Okay, people are looking at them like they can't be trusted. So a liberal man is a person, who, matter of fact, I'm gonna explain what it is, but I want to see what the definitions say. Willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own opinion. And that's actually the one that I was going to use, because remember, they present themselves as they like your best interest at heart. Okay. All right. So willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own, open to new ideas. That's the way they get your vote. And then guess what? When they sit their ass in the office, in the Oval Office, in the White House, fuck them, fuck them people. All right, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I gotta follow a script, like what this man is talking about in the video. The banking families, man. All of these politicians in their back pocket, they got all the money, they got all the resources. It said relating or denoting to a political and social philosophy, I want to say. Philosophy. Let me see if I want to see if I'm pronouncing it right.
Philosophy.
Goodness gracious. Go back to school, boy. But anyways, I'm my biggest critic. But yeah, I'm not good at the English language. But yeah, so the point is that these people are not looked at in a good light anymore.
Michael Moore played into the system and what the people want to happen. They want people looking at Democrats and Republicans and fighting over that. Red states and blue states, but not looking at the Federal Reserve as the real answer. So they hide behind that. It's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. And guess who's doing this though? The Lord is the one that's doing this. So through all of this stuff that's going on right now, the Lord is the one that's doing this. He's the one that's causing the kingdom to be divided. To the point that you got households who are Republicans and Democrats. All right. So it says, see, suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. So the Lord is the one who's doing this. And it's all for the good of the men of the Lord and the women that believe. For from henceforth there should be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So the Lord is the one that's doing all of this. Prophecy have the last say so. Okay? So how much more is this happening today?
The guy behind the curtain. The guy behind the curtain. And the guy behind the curtain is the Federal Reserve. Well, it's not even the Federal Reserve so much as the people behind the Federal Reserve. They use the Federal Reserve as a tool so they can control things.
That's what it's all about. It's all about control. And the main thing how they control is through the sword. Matter of fact, real quick. That's why what it says in Revelation 6:4, the red horse to take peace from the earth. But it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarged his desire as hell, and is at death, cannot be satisfied, but gather unto himself all nations, and heap unto him all people. And the way that he done this is by the dollar. Okay, everybody is ping to that dollar. Okay, that is the number one global currency of the world. You can't do nothing without it. All right, that's what makes him proud. He literally created a currency out of thin air, and people believed in it. People killed for it, backstab people that they love for it, and everybody needed. So that made him a proud man. And he don't keep at home. He went into other nations. They got to use it. Okay, like I said, and if they try to go outside of that, and that happened to Gaddafi, okay, and all the other Arab presidents. I think they call presidents. They probably call prime ministers. I don't know. But can't think about it right now. But the point is that whoever the head of those countries that try to get away from the dollar, sanction or killed. All right. Shall not all these take up a parable against them? That's the time that we in right now, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him laded himself with thick clay. All right, so that's the time that we are in, and this place is going to be destroyed, and it all come down to everybody being micro C-hipped, digitally implanted. That's what it comes down to. Everything leads to the mark of the beast. All right. You cannot say that you don't know, because every man of the Lord talks about the mark of the beast almost every video, because that's the time that we are in. So when this economy will crash, and right now they talking about digital currencies, but why? They just trying to get you conditioned for the real thing.
Behind the curtain is the Federal Reserve. Well, it's not even the Federal Reserve so much as the people behind the Federal Reserve. They use the Federal Reserve as a tool so they can control things. Most of the industrialized West, it doesn't matter. It's all central banks controlling the governments. And the central banks make secret agreements with each other. So the real question is, there's so much debt in this country, they've got to keep things afloat. Mm-hmm. So they have to keep printing tons and trillions and trillions of dollars. And it's getting so massive, they don't want to let us know how much they're printing.
Right.
And we have no way to measure how fast we're going to lose the purchasing power of our money. And then on the other hand, if they choose to stop printing money, they can cause the biggest depression that ever happened in this country.
You know what that Great Depression is going to lead to? So let's end it on that. So I'm going to read this one, right? Because this is the one that you need to get your mind conditioned for. The Lord already written a story. All we got to do is play it out. And some is going to be beheaded for not taking the mark, because that's what it all lead down to. And I saw the thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. For people that try to say it said the right hand, it said hands right here. And it says they live and reign with Hamashiach 1,000 years. So you see the glory that comes if you stand stiffly for the name of the Lord, because that's what it's all going to lead to. At the end of the day, you're going to continue to see the news. You're going to continue to see things that, because they boasting of their heart desires. But that's why you got to stick to prophecy. OK, if you see all of a sudden the dollar crash, and then now you got this Bitcoin. I was talking about this at camp, the big camp. And I was saying, like, the other thing that people don't understand is that shit can crash too overnight. You go ahead, okay, the dollar crash. Then you go put all this money, you put all your money into Bitcoin to invest in that. And then boom, that crash. And then they can use that as, see, you can't trust any currencies these days. This is why you got to take the microchip, because at least with the microchip is inside you and can't nobody hack it. And people, they're going to have to cut off your hands to steal your identity. And your money is right here, and that's going to be, what get people killed, because it's going to sound cool. You ain't going to have to carry no credit cards and things like that. But what people not realizing is, like, now you literally is controlled. Because first of all, who's on the other side of that microchip? Who control that database? And then they got the power to turn it on and turn it off. There's so many things that come with it. And then when you go to Revelation 16:2, it said a grievous sword for those who take the mark. That's all that radiation inside you. But anyways, so how much more of this happening now? This was back in the early 2000s. They took him out, But all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Seek ye out the Lord while he may be found, in Shalom.